say he had inappropriate relations with your wife. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Please explain.
I have been a member of the church where the pastor, Marcus Hayden.
Pastor? Oh.
For the past 7 years. I met the love of my life there. And I knew once we met that Marcus would be the one to officiate our wedding. About 3 years into our marriage, we started having a few problems because I had some medical issues, we were struggling financially, and we, both being leaders in the church, decided we need to go see our pastor for counseling. Marcus suggested that we do counseling individually before we came together to do something collaborative. So we both agreed. About 3 weeks later, I did notice that she started to seem a little bit happier, you know, better spirits. And
you thought it was working?
I thought it was working. And then a little while later, she came to me saying that she wanted to go down to Greenwood to be with her mother for the weekend. So I'm thinking, okay, baby, do what you got to do. Well, not long after that, I'm at the church going over some financial issues with the church secretary, and she hands me an invoice with my name on it for a hotel in Greenwood the same time that my wife was down there. She says Marcus gave it to her.
Wait a minute. So you found out through some church records that the church secretary gave you?
Yes, ma'am.
That your pastor had been away with your wife?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hatton, what do you say to this? Well, you took advantage of the couple seeking counseling?
Well, first of all, Your Honor, I want to apologize for being in your court today. I've been a pastor for 25 years serving the community. The deacon here and his wife are members of my congregation. Him and his wife came to me for counseling. Now, I do know the preacher, I do know the deacon, and he kind of has a little rigid personality. So I assume that we're going to have problems, considering the fact that we can't get
you can't keep your Johnson and your Brick Brothers,
we
brother.
Can't get any words
okay, Mr. Mayhorn. Are you denying that you had
No, I'm not
sex
denying
with his
that,
wife?
but there's an explanation for everything.
So you're not denying it?
I'm not.
You're admitting it?
I admit it.
You said there's an explanation.
There's an explanation.
What could that be, Pastor?
Well, I'm a pastor, but I am a heterosexual man. So his wife would come into these private sessions dressing very provocatively. So yeah, she caught my attention and she was flirting with me.
She is a deaconess of the church. You've seen her before that.
This is true. This is true. And this is where it comes to my apologizing for that. Also, I would have to say that I talked to the man upstairs and I begged him to understand that I saw the wrongs in my ways and please forgive me. And knowing that I am a pastor and that he is a member of my congregation, I want to do right. So I'm here saying that I am agreeing with him in terms of that, but I'm not going, this is not him. It's his wife, Your Honor. It's that Jezebel is the reason I'm here.
You narcissistic, gaslighting son of a biscuit eater. Stop it.
Hold on. Mr. Mayhorn.
Is that the way you talk to your pastor?
You not my
or you
pastor,
talk to your friend that way?
You're not a friend.
Oh, you're not
not a friend.
Let's get some order. Let's get some order. Let's get some order. So, Pastor Hatton,
yes,
you are agreeing and you are admitting that you had a sexual relationship with Mr. Mayhorn's wife.
Yes, ma'am.
He is suing you for alienation of affection.
Whatever
Why
that
should
means.
you?
How can he sue me for something that I didn't do to him personally?
Your Honor.
He needs to sue his wife.
It's called alienation of
Well,
affection.
man, he needs to sue his wife. I didn't force her to have sex with me.
Well, but you were a party to it. Go back to how you found out about this, Mr. Mayhorn. How did you figure all this out?
I was working with the church secretary, Miss Betty Jones. She handed me an invoice showing that with my name on it. I do have it here for your records.
I'd like to see it.
Backstab.
Okay. Miss Jones?
Can you give me all your evidence that you brought to court, please?
Thank you.
Thank you. So this is the hotel bill?
That's also my food delivery bill, because subsequently my wife left me. She told me she didn't want to be married with me anymore, so now I got to cook for myself. I got to clean my own house.
So you don't know how to cook and clean?
You know what? Your mama.
All right, do you have any evidence for me, sir?
Evidence in terms of what, ma'am?
Evidence that you bring to court to prove your case.
This is my word against. I already admitted that I had relations with his wife.
That's exactly right. But you said a Jezebel spirit? I thought you might have brought in
so
something
we can get into that.
to
We
prove
can
that
definitely.
you were not intentional in this. Because if you intentionally came between him and his wife, that's the basis for alienation of affection.
Well,
And now your witness is standing. I'd like to hear from her, Mr. Mayhorn. State your name for the record, ma'am.
Yes. My name is Betty Jones.
Hello, Ms. Jones. What would you like to add to this?
I would like to add that I have been the church secretary for over 25 years. Nothing comes to the church I will not see.
Okay.
So I was taken aback when this receipt came to the church, and I knew Mr. Mayhorn had not been away. The receipt was in his name, and I knew the pastor had been away.
Okay, stop. I want to understand this. You saw a receipt. Whose name was on the receipt?
The name on the receipt was Mr. Mayhorn.
Okay. So how did you come to realize that the pastor was responsible for this receipt?
Because he gave it to me.
Oh.
And I had already had an inkling that something was transpiring between the pastor and
you know, I
Mr.
can give you just
Mayhorn's
one
wife.
receipt. You are the church secretary, so you are in charge of all the receipts. And if you had any problem with anything that I did, you could have came to me. We wouldn't have been here today.
Pastor Hatton,
Yes, ma'am.
you're not giving no sermon in here, and you're definitely not yelling at no women. So bring it down a notch.
Yes, ma'am.
It was impossible for me to go to him because I had already done something amiss myself. I had been in a relationship with the pastor.
Oh, so this is jealousy.
And he promised to me that I was the only person. But when I found out I wasn't the only person, I was highly perturbed.
Well, listen, Ben, if you're going to tell the truth, tell the whole truth. The only reason you say anything to this man is because you're jealous.
No.
Because I was with his wife and not with you.
No.
Be honest.
The church secretary just said, not only are you sleeping with the deacon's wife, you were sleeping with her too. And
Yeah.
you didn't deny it.
Don't deny any of it.
What kind of pastoring are you doing?
Well, I'll say this. I'm not the first pastor you heard anything like that about.
Oh, actually you are. This is an easy case. Right?
Easy in
Because
terms
you've
of...
admitted that you slept with his wife.
Yes.
And under the law, you intentionally do that when you know they're married. You even knew their marriage was going through a bit of a rocky time. They came to you for help, for counsel. And instead, I always say this, do not seek counsel under the covers. And that's exactly where you led Ms. Mayhorn.
wasn't
And it's for
intentional.
that, It is for that reason, I'm done hearing from you. It is for that reason, it has been determined by this court that we are ruling in favor of the plaintiff for $10,000. Pay it. And if I were you, I would step down as pastor. I don't think this is a role you take seriously or you value, and God don't like ugly. Court is adjourned.
Family, this is a scandalous and a shame. Pastor, you should lose your card. But before we get into this, family, let me go ahead and do my opener. What it do? It's your boy, Illuminated D. You know what I'm saying? We back with another one. The first thing I want to do is thank you to everybody who's liked and commented. And to all the subscribers. Pops and I want to let you know how much we really appreciate you. For you to come and spend your time with us and to consume the content. While we understanding that you have busy lives, we want to thank you and bless. Well, family, this one got me hot, family, because the pastor was smashing the deacon's wife, the old lady, the parlay. Look, listen, family. What I'm not understanding is that the deacon and the wife, the deaconess, are having some marital issues, and they come to a trusted member of the church, the one who is supposed to be at the head, the throne of the temple, the one who speaks with God directly, the one who gives the word, the good word. And you telling me that the pastor catches feelings for the deacon's wife and then gets her a trip down to Greenwood and starts blowing the deacon's wife's back out. He starts blowing old deaconess' wife back out. 10 ways to Sunday. 10 ways. And what I'm not understanding is, how does counseling turn into a smash session? And the sick part is that him being the leader and her going through a hard time with her husband should not be the ploy to take advantage of a member who is in distress. This should never be a ploy to take advantage of a member who is in distress. See, family. See, the thing about it is that she was going through it with her mans. And then this guy, he was coming through, you know what I'm saying, as the savior. But he wasn't the savior. He was the cheek clapper. The blower back outer. The late night, let me get you a trip to the Telly Greenwood, blow your back out 2 times 10 ways to Sunday. And this is sick. This is sick. See, this pastor need to lose his card. And he had the audacity to say that we're still friends and that she was flirting with me and dressing provocatively. See, look, family, as the member of the church, right? As a member of the church, he should have been the first one to cast that down. He should have cast down his lust, and he should have let her know that she was in the wrong for coming to these sessions like that, and that it was tempting him, and that the Lord would not like that. And as being the deaconess, she should have some standards and some moral discipline. But you know what? He didn't say that. He didn't say have some standards and some moral discipline. He said, how about we exercise this meat? He didn't say, let's exercise some demons. He said, let's exercise this meat. Now, pastor, if you hear this, if any other pastors are out here hearing this, and you doing this, this is a scandalous and a shame. And I am here to rebuke this type of pedophiliation, this type of debauchery, as Pops would call it, this sex pool full of debauchery. See, family, you can't trust nobody in your relationship. The truth is, you can't trust nobody. You can't trust nobody, and if you are to have the trust, you should not be doing private sessions. You should be doing a team counseling session together with both spouses there to address the matter so that you can avoid the drama and the bull. But if the pastor If anybody ever tell you that, oh, you need to have separate counseling sessions, that's because they have ulterior motives, because they want to prey on the little lamb. They are a wolf in sheep's clothing, and you can't trust them. I have never heard of a pastor saying, let's have separate family counseling. I've only heard of pastors saying, let's have team cohesive, collaborative counseling sessions, because if both individuals are there, if both parties are there, they can address their emotional matters in a transparent place with an unbiased third party, so that they can each get their 2 cents off calmly, collectively, and collaboratively. But this man had ulterior motives and had the audacity to say that we're friends. See, family, this is what I want to tell y'all. Keep people out your relationship. Keep people out of the front, because they're not going to tell you nothing that you don't already know. See, the problem is, and I'm going to tell y'all what y'all problem is that you don't have any transparency inside the relationship. You don't know how to listen, and you can't take criticism. If you want to be and have a successful relationship, you got to stop always being in defense mode. People aren't always attacking you when they're telling you something. They're trying to help you get to the bottom of the problem. They're not always attacking you. They're trying to help you solve the problem that is causing them pain. And if you do have a manipulator in the relationship, I'm talking to you now. You need to learn how to listen and stop always taking it and trying to twist it into your own story, because now you feel like you're the one being attacked. But the truth of it is you need better communication with inside the relationship. You don't need a third party to come and tell you why your relationship is up. You don't need a third party to tell you that you're not listening to your partner. And if your partner's saying you're not listening to me, then just close your mouth. And if your partner is always trying to flip it and turn themselves into the victim, then you need to have some transparency to at least see that you could be the problem in the relationship. But you don't always need a third party, because sometimes the third party is the wolf in sheep's clothing, and they're trying to prey on the little lamb. We seen how everybody did Jesus, and that's messed up, because Jesus was coming there to save. Jesus didn't come there to hurt. But these pastors, the Bible even says it, we're going to have false prophets and individuals who come and do miracles, but they don't even know God. Don't even know God. So before you get the inkling to go through a third party separately and potential put your partner in a trap to get their cheeks clapped or to have their meat exercised, just communicate properly, family. Because we all want to be successful and we all want to be somewhere in life. But in order to do that, you got to do something that you ain't never done before. And that's the reason that we doing this right here, right now. Everybody be blessed. Be safe. We out. Peace.